Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the Crafternoon Box and our second tutorial for March for 2021. We're going to be doing some mini cards and a gift box today, so thank you for joining me. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes while we get everybody on to Facebook and YouTube. I know people often get the reminders at the last second, and so they kind of do a mad scramble to go, oh, I forgot, jumping on. Hello Tony, thank you for being on time for 2 o'clock. Of course, it's never a problem if you can't make it at 2 o'clock on the Saturday afternoons. You can always watch the replay on YouTube and Facebook later on, so don't panic. Checking in and just seeing how everybody's going. Looks like we've got a couple of people in on Facebook, so hello on Facebook. Feel free to drop a quick little message in, let us know that you're here, where you're from, just so I know who's with us today. It should be, I reckon it'll probably be a quiet day online today because there's a lot of people probably out enjoying the nice weather, particularly if you're in Melbourne. It's quite nice out there today. Hi Leah, how are you? Good to have you. You finally made it live. That's awesome. Thank you. I know you're just down the road from me. Hello Mum, Sharon's on. Hi. We already spoke today, so I won't spend too much time talking to Mum today. But yeah, thank you for joining me again. Today we are going to make this cute little gift cards in a little box. So it's a little, almost like a deck of playing cards size. So it's, what are we, about just 4.5 inches roughly square, and it's got, you know, nice little bit of depth in there. I've sealed this shut with a little bit of our fantastic washi tape, so I'll take that off, pop the lid, and then you've got this cute little selection of little cards inside. So perfect to give to someone for a little gift. Also great if you just want to have a bit of a play, use up some small pieces of paper that you've got laying around. They're the perfect thing to just not even put in an envelope, just pop it on top of a little present and you know, sticky tape it down and off we go. So I think they're really great. They're nice little, you know, helpful little cards to have around. Hi Kylie, thank you for joining us, your first live. Welcome to the crazy. Tony, it's raining where you are. Oh, you're in Queensland, northern New South Wales or Queensland, where it's bucketing at the moment. Enjoy all that rain. We're not getting it down here in Victoria at the moment, so someone needs to be getting it. Excellent. Alrighty. So I think we've probably jib-jabbed for enough today, and I know we've got a lot to get through. I did want to just quickly show everybody something exciting that I've done through the week. So you guys will know that normally you get your Crafternoon boxes shipped in these little boxes, so things that kind of look about this size. So they're a little bit thick. That's my March sample on top. So these are these boxes I'm going to be keeping around, but I'm not going to be shipping Crafternoon box in it because we're going to be getting these big guys. So these are 13-inch boxes, which means that I can actually fit a full 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock in. So rather than getting your cardstock cut into 12 by 6-inch sheets, you're going to be getting full sheets of cardstock every single month in your Crafternoon box. And this is just a little sneak peek upside down. I feel like Mr. Squiggle. Upside down, Miss Jane. This is the little banner for the May box. So you'll get your April kits in the original size boxes, and then from May we're going to be going up to craft pizza size boxes. So anyway, I'm excited about boxes this week, so apologies if you're not excited about boxes, but I think for all my subscribers you'll probably be super stoked to be getting full-sized pieces of cardstock in your upcoming boxes. So just a little change that we're making. They're a little bit narrower, so that we won't need to pad out them quite as much. They will definitely fit all of the little three-dimensional things that go in there. So whether it's your ink pads or your 3D pearls and bits and pieces that we add from time to time, they'll all still fit in there, but you'll get full-size sheets of cardstock. So super stoked about that. Let me switch over to my overhead camera for you. And let's have a look at what we're doing today. So I've shown you the little examples. So we're just going to make this little gift box with a bunch of cards inside. Don't go too crazy on making too many cards this week, guys. If you make more than the cards that are in here, you are probably going to run out of cardstock for your other projects for later in the month. So what I want to remind you to do is to keep at least one of your cardstock sheets as full as possible, because you're going to need that for next week. You're going to need quite a big length. So try not to go too crazy. So yeah, we're going to make these little guys. So what I've got is my coloured cardstock. So we've got Wisteria, we've got Lemonade, Dewdrop, this one is Orchid, and this one is Unicorn. Nearly forgot the unicorn. We've also got the Paper Rose Sentiments. So this is really rainbow. I've got some white cardstock. I've also got floating around somewhere that I didn't put on my desk is some of the black cardstock. Now you might interchange your black cardstock for white cardstock or some coloured cardstock, so play along with that. That is a little bit of an up for grabs kind of thing. I've got our Papercrafting Australia patterned papers, so in the pastel rainbow collection. I've got whatever's left that I didn't use in the last project, so I'm going to be using up some more of that. I've also brought along, so instead of using your paper, your pattern papers, you may want to go back and do some more stenciling. So we did some stenciling last week with the Stars and Spots stencil from Paper Rose. So I've got my inks out just in case. So Wild Lilac came in this month's kit in March. And we had Passionate Pink in the February kit. So I've just chosen those because they kind of go with things. Otherwise, we've also, you've had the craft one. I don't think it really goes with this week's colour palette, but if you're using something from your stash at home, by all means, whatever colour palette you would like, go for it. I've also grabbed our washi tape. So this is the Rainbow Swatches washi tape that partners with, where is it? Nope, I've used it in my example, so I can't show you it today, but it matches perfectly with this washi tape. Now, I will be using that paper in the next tutorial, or not the next one, the one at the end, I think. So, stand by, because I'll use the matching paper with the washi tape at the same time to create a really cool effect. I've brought the Oh Happy Day ribbon that everybody got in their kits. I'm going to think about maybe wrapping my box. I've also got the bare minimum of tools that we'll need this week. So just a pair of scissors. You will need, preferably, I'm going to use this thin tape. So this is the Couture Creations ultra thin double-sided tape. So it's 6 mil. You've seen me use it before. It's super thin, so you don't really feel like you've got anything between the pieces of paper and cardstock. But it's up to you. You can use liquid glue if you would prefer, or tape runner, whatever is your tape of choice or adhesive of choice. I've just restocked some of this and some of the foam tape in the store, so you can get your hands on some more of that now. I am also using my little Tim Holtz distressing tool. So it's got these little grooves in here that I can slide my cardstock into just to rough up the edges. You might be able to see just how rough some of these edges are in here. You can also use a blunt instrument. If you've got a blunt cutting blade, you might want to cut your cardstock with that today. Alternatively, you can just use a craft knife or a Stanley knife type thing, box cutter, whatever you prefer to call them, to get that effect as well. So I'll show you that when we get to there. Now, I've also done, you guys, a little project sheet today. So I've just posted it up on our Facebook page. So if you want to grab that and download it and print it off, it gives you the scoreline dimensions and the main dimensions for all the pieces that we're going to construct from today. So I'm going to have that off to the side, and I'll just refer to the bits and pieces as we go along. I don't think I've got time to do ink blending today, so I'm going to pop those aside. But if you would prefer to blend and stencil your pieces, that's absolutely okay. I've also got off here, and I'm going to take this off so I've got a bit more room to work, but this is our monthly art print postcard. So in the kits this month, everybody got I Craft So Hard I Sweat Glitter. These are available in our store if you would like to purchase one to pop on your wall or in a frame on your desk, or however you would like to present yours. The frame doesn't come with it, but I've popped mine in there just so that that's displayed nicely in my craft area. Okay, let's get into it. So clear a little bit of space. So the first step is to work out what color you're going to make the gift box. So for this one, this was the unicorn color that I used on that one. So today I think I might do something slightly different, and I might go, now whatever you are trying to do, you're going to need, for the base of the gift box, 8 3/8 of an inch in length. On that, I'm going to see if this yellow has enough length, because I'd really like to, perfect, plenty. I'd like to use that up for that. For the rest of your cards, you're only going to need 3 by 6 inch pieces of cardstock. So first of all, I'm just going to take this one and we're going to go 8 3/8 of an inch by 5 3/8. 3. I'm just going to pop that aside. Now for the base cards, now what I would suggest is, because you've got limited cardstock left to use, is I would pick 2 of these and make 2 lots of 2 cards. So for me, I think this week, these aren't even full sheets that I've done, so that's helpful. So you're going to need 3 by 6 inches. So mostly these should be 6 inches by 12. So you should be able to cut 2 3-inch lengths here and then have a half left. You could do 4 of the same color. It's totally up to you. I'm going to have to cut some of these long ways because I've got scraps that I've got left over. So I'm going to save this one for next week's card. That's the dewdrop color. And I'm going to cut a couple of cards out of these. So these ones we need to cut 3 by 6. I'm just hoping that this is still actually, yeah, that's 2 lots of 6 inches. I'll go to my 3-inch. Yep. Mark. So you just want to cut 4 card bases that are 3 by 6. Sharon, yours is already in the frame already, your little art print, fantastic. There's no other place for it, but I think I'm going to build up a little bit of a wall of postcards. It'll be quite fun. I've already started planning my new craft space in the new house, so hopefully there'll be some fun coming along there. So I'm just going to pop that down and aside for a second. And I'm just going to pop that away because I want to start doing the scoring on not only these little babies, because we might as well score those, but we'll do the main scoring on this this base. Get that out of the way, and then we can start working on things. So during the week, guys, we got in a new product. We got a couple of new products actually, but I have a new 12 by 12 inch scoreboard. So this is the Couture Creations one. We are going to have it available in the shop, and we are going to buy them on a monthly basis when we do our ordering with Couture Creations. So if you put an order in for it today, it will be delivered next month. So we normally order around the 7th or 8th of the month, but it's got your inches across the top, down the sides and down the bottom. You can't see because it's off screen, but way down here, you've actually got centimeters. So if you prefer to cut in those dimensions. It also has this handy little attachment which you can use. It's got instructions on both sides to make gift boxes and to make envelopes. So it's got all the little handy references. So with that, you just slide it into your scoreboard, which means that you can then put your card on an angle, and when you score that way, obviously it's going to make a diagonal one, which is really handy for making your envelopes and boxes. So it's super handy. It comes with a bone folder ready to go. So you've got everything that you need to kind of make a variety of different projects. Just need to slot this back in. So there's a little handy slot down the bottom here that holds your bone folder, and if you put it in properly, Tangy, get in there, holds your two little bits underneath, so you're not going to lose them. They can kind of travel away with your scoreboard. So that's that exciting product that we've got. So I'm just going to get back to making these gift cards. So I've just got these little, so they're 3x6 inch cards that we've made for the mini cards. I'm just going to score them in the middle at 3 inches. And I'm just going to do that with all of them. And we're good to go. Of course, if you haven't got a scoreboard at the moment, you can use a bone folder or a blunt pencil or a bread and butter knife to actually score this on a craft mat. It is a great scoreboard, Sharon. I'm super excited about it already. Okay, so here's where it really comes in. So with this, I've got this is my larger piece of cardstock. So this is 8 3/8 by 5 3/8, I hope. Should be about right. So we're going to go across and I'm going to score the long edge first, and then we'll flip it and do the short edge. So along the long edge, we're going to go to 3 3/8. And we're going to pop a score all the way down. Yellow might not have been a good choice for on camera today. That's pretty bad. So 3 3/8 is your first one. Then we're going to score again at 4 inches exactly. Then we're going to go all the way down to 7 3/8. Pop a score there. Then we're going to go to 8 inches. And that's your long side done. So if we then flip onto the short edge, we are going to score at 3/8 of an inch. So a really tight one. Could have flipped this around and done 3/8 from that end, but never mind, we're doing it this way. We're then going to score at 1 inch. We're then going to come all the way down to 4 3/8 of an inch. And then finally at 5 inches. Beautiful. So that is the start. Now I'm going to keep this held in this orientation. So the biggest square section with no kind of lines on the edge is on the left-hand side. So exactly how I've scored it. If you've managed to jump onto Facebook and download the photo that's there, you can print that out. And of course, that'll keep your measurements there as well. So I can pop my scoreboard away. Now I'm just going to prep this with the little cuts and the bits that we need to cut out. So if I pop this down, hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea about how I've got mine held and which pieces we're going to cut out. So all the grayed out sections we're actually going to cut off. So you'll be able to start, so down in this bottom corner we've got these bottom three, bottom corner, the bottom three shapes in the corner here. So we can actually cut just with your scissors. They don't need to be perfect, but you want them to be fairly neat. Trim those down. First one done. Then the bottom left, we're going to cut out this long little section and then the little tab next to it. So again, just referencing these two images on the little project sheet. Can't see because yellow and this light is not good. I can imagine how you guys are trying to cope seeing this on camera. Hopefully it's not doing too terribly. Okay, then in the top right hand corner we're again going to take off these top three little grey areas in the top. So I'm just going to turn this around so that I can cut. Otherwise you end up cutting a bit khaki-handed. So those little guys there. And then for this section, we're going to cut these top 2 long rectangles out, and then this tiny little tab up the top here. Just like that. So realistically, that should now kind of match my little template, which it does. So we've got all of those little bits all ready to go. Now what we are going to need to do is we're going to need to cut up a couple of these little sections. So we've got this first little notch here, and actually I'm going to highlight them all on this little sheet. So that you can see where we're going. So we're just going to trim those little pieces, and that's going to enable those little tabs to work so that we can construct the box. So just those little tabs either side of this little one here, just to free up all these little bits of card to become little tabs. Flip it up the other way. I'm just going to cut these tiny little tabs here as well. So again, these little guys can now fold and do what they need to do. So that's the basic construction for your box. Now you can, if you like, start to kind of fold it into shape. But what I am going to do is work with it flat so that I can see where I'm going with things. So now because I scored on the weave side, obviously when you flip it over, this is where the little mountain ridges are from the scoring, and that's always your inside to prevent the cardstock from cracking on the outside. And it'll just give you a much nicer finish to your project. Now this cardstock's pretty strong, so you don't really need to fold too heavily. You don't need to go along necessarily and, you know, burnish it with your bone folder. You can if you like that really crisp kind of look. But this is pretty sturdy card, so it will actually take just a small fold, and it's not too bad. But you can see where we're going with folding that over and making that little box with its little tab lid on the top. All good. Excellent. I'm going to check in on Facebook and make sure our friends over there are doing okay. I think there's only a couple of you in there, but hello, whoever's on Facebook. It looks like there's 5 of you there, so g'day. They're all being quiet. You must be working hard with your bits and pieces. Okay. So the next thing I want to decide what I'm going to do is what colour border or frame I'm going to put in here. So with this box, it was the white one, and then we've got patterned paper on the inside. So I think white seemed to work fairly well for me on that, but it's up to you. You might want to use another colour of cardstock as your border and then put patterned paper on. Totally fine. You do you. That's what I say. Actually, you know what I can do? I can use this. I'll use this as my little border. I'm not going to see, no, I'm not going to see much of it. I'm just going to go white. Okay. Let's get some of our plain white cardstock. I think I've got enough there. Oh, I did have these ones too. So, popping all of this out of the way. I hope everyone's finished with that for the moment. You can reference that on Facebook as well, on the Papercrafting Australia page, if you need to. And that does have our dimensions on it. So for the borders that we're going to cut for these, so we're going to cut 2, one for the front, one for the back. And these, I'm going to bring in this new little baby, which is a mini guillotine trimmer. Pop that over there. So again, this is a Couture Creations product. It is a mini one, so it's great for doing any of your smallish kind of projects where you're not making anything too big. It's got the chopper, nice action, the nice little guide to kind of put things under so that your paper doesn't slip around when you're doing things. So again, these will be sort of like a monthly order, so you can go through to the store now. They're listed on there. So if you want one of these, it cuts up to 220 millimeters, so it's kind of like that A4 kind of size that you can cut through, but it doesn't have an extension arm like my other little one does. So it is really that little kind of just small thing. Great if you're taking things off to a little retreat, or you're going camping or caravanning or whatever you might be doing, and you want to take some craft materials with you. So let's get back to cutting these little borders. So the borders on these for the outside of the box is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 of an inch. So let me just line this up. 2, 4, 6, 7. So smooth, so satisfying. Really good action. Yes. I'm really happy with it. It's a great little companion. It's smaller than my paper trimmer, so it also gives me a little bit more space to work on my desk. So I love that. So I've got those little borders now for the patterned paper. So I'm going to find. How long is that? I might get some out of this one, but I might have to choose a different colour for another one. So, how big is this? So these ones for patterned paper, we're cutting 2 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch. So actually I might have... Yeah, I'm not going to get it out of that. I'll have to do a bit of this. So that's 4, that's 5, 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. Looks about right. And then I'm going to do a little bit of this ombre one. It's not going to be all of this, but I'm going to take the yellow side of it and the green into blue. Lovely. And pop that off to the side just for the moment while I get this started. So we're going to obviously mount these pieces of patterned paper onto our border or mat. So regardless of what colours you've chosen, the process is just the same. Now what I do want to do before I put this together is just give this edge just a little bit of interest. So it's all starting to look a bit plain and boring if I start just layering flat paper upon flat paper upon flat paper. Of course you can pop up your sentiment on some foam strips, but I'm just going to use this little Tim Holtz tool and basically just pop my card in there. I need to turn this a bit further so you guys can see. And you just drag it. And it starts off kind of light, and then you can actually drag it and you get this great little ripped, torn, shredded kind of rough edge. So it's really, really handy. I haven't got these in the shop at the moment, but look, you should be able to find a Tim Holtz supplier that will have these, or you can buy them directly from Ranger. They certainly make this a lot safer and a lot easier, because I'm about to show you the cheaper way of not buying a tool but using things that you have at home to do the similar kind of effect. So that's the first one. So I'm going to come back in. I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that I had. I'm going to get my Stanley knife and just push that quite a ways out. Don't mind that it's so rotten and dirty. It's just a sticky tape stick from unpacking tons of boxes this week. So you can just grab your Stanley knife and put the edge against your cardstock and just run it along. And see, you'll get pretty much the same effect from doing that. You will occasionally get a bit of a bigger dig in there, and that's totally fine if you're looking for a bit of a rough edge. The only thing I don't like about this is how close that sharp edge is to these fingers. If you're a craft klutz and you're not good with sharp objects or tools that aren't made for the purpose that you're using them for, I would suggest maybe steering clear of this. But you will get exactly the same effect. The other thing you can do if you have, if you're using thinner paper or card, is that you could actually put it against a ruler and then tear it. Obviously tearing up the side that you're not going to keep as your nice side, because you will kind of bend it and things. But you could try that. You could try partially scoring a thicker piece of card like this with a knife of some kind, and then try tearing it, and that might have broken enough of the fibers if you've tried to score it first, or done a tiny little line, and then basically you're just wanting the fibers to come out the edge. So there's a number of ways that you'll be able to kind of get the same effect. I'm going to put that away before I cut myself. Of course, you do end up with all these little tiny bits of fluff that stick to everything. So just give your little work surface a bit of a clean up and a tidy up when you can. Okay, so I'm going to bring my box back, put it the right way, and I'm just going to pop these into position. Just have a little bit of a look at how things are coming along. So I've got a lot of yellow going on this one. Got a bit of green and blue happening in there. So we're starting to build up from there. Now the next thing I want to choose before I start to stick all of this down, because if I commit to it, then it's, you know, things are probably going to change, is I'm going to choose from some sentiments and things that I would like to put on my card or the gift box that's going in there. So I've got these little tag ones that have come out of here. So these are the really rainbow sentiments from Paper Rose. So some of you will have some of these ticket style ones. You'll all have some sentiment strips like this and like this. And some of you will have some of these block kind of ones. So depending on which ones you've got, might depend on how your layout goes. In these ones that I did as the example, obviously I've used all of the block ones for that. So for today, I'm actually going to try and use some of these ticket ones so that there's two versions of examples for you to have a look at. Now, because I've got yellow going on, and I've got a lot of yellow going on, so I kind of want to steer clear of the yellow sentiments, but I do have this greeny blue vibe going on. So I think I like this "You Just Get Me." I like that one. So I'm just going to fussy cut these. I'm not going to be too precious about this. Sometimes I get precious, sometimes I don't. So I think that'll be a kind of nice little pop on there. And on my other one, I didn't put anything on the back. I think that's also a really nice place where you could just write a little greeting or a little message to whoever you're giving it to. So I'm going to leave mine plain again on the back, and I've left a lightish, you know, single tone kind of colour, purely so that if I wanted to, that can be just where I'm going to pop my greeting. So I'm going to just leave that as that at the moment. It could be, you know, the right kind of time to pop another sentiment on. So, you know, you could put a little "love you" underneath. Actually, let's do that. Just to flesh it out a little bit. Pop that up a bit. Put something like that. So the colours are all starting to match really nicely, which is nice. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to tape those down and commit that to how the world is going to be. But I have, here it is, lost my tape. It always happens. So I'm just going to flip these over. This tape, thin tape, really helpful because you can just tear it off, stick it down. It makes working with this sort of stuff really quick and easy. The only fun games that we have is getting the backing tape off, because we all know that Tangy doesn't have any fingernails because I bite them like a naughty girl. I find it hard to do crafting with nails anyway, so I think I would probably not succeed that much. See, now you'll get to laugh. Can't peel things. Hopefully you're all working away nicely there, or eating your lunches while you're watching things. Love it. We've got some lurkers. People that are watching but not commenting. Who are you? Where are you from? That keeps me up at night. People that watch live YouTube videos and don't say hello, don't tell us who they are. I wonder who you are and where you're coming from and how you found us. And are we as weird as I feel like we are? The answer is probably absolutely. Crazy, batshit bananas. But hey, if you're tuning in and watching this, you know, you got to be a little bit of crazy as well. So, you know. All right. This does seem to take forever compared to using my tape runner. You all know I went to tape because I was a little bit concerned about how much hard plastic we were not recycling with all of the tape runner cases and cartridges and things. But when you think about it, I've got all these little scrappy bits that I've got to dispose of, and they're not recyclable, so, you know. Hello, Vanessa. Thank you for chiming in and saying hello. Now I can sleep better at night knowing who's chiming in. Kylie, you're right. We are all crazy craft ladies. And there's nothing wrong with crazy. Yeah, that's a good point, Sharon. Where is Carrie today? I miss her when she's not on. I want to know. Actually, I don't think... Oh, look, I haven't really checked my Facebook this morning, but I don't recall seeing her do a live this morning either. I hope she's okay. Is everybody coping so far? We're not stuck back at... What are the dimensions on that thing again? Because if you need it, give me a holler and I'll bring them back up. Or you can just jump onto Facebook and check the reference there. I'm trying to find a way to put a bit of a collection of those type of things all together, and I think it's going to end up being a blog on the shop page, but I'll see how I go. Just to build up a bit of a reference library for all the little projects and cards that we make. You do crazy well. Tony, what are you saying yes, thanks about? Yes, thanks. Yes, you want the dimensions back up? Let me... Oops, that's not them. Not these. I'll pop them there for you. I'm just going to work down in this little corner. In the naughty corner. It's probably where I belong. Mum will tell you that's where I belong, in the naughty corner. I spent a bit of time there, I reckon, as a kid. Oh, I did want to show you something earlier. When we were kind of messing up the edges on these little bits, oh, you're keeping up, Tony, so I can get this out of the way. Awesome. I went through earlier and just inked up the edge after I'd kind of roughed it up. So that's something that you could, you know, do if you're thinking this looks a little bit plain and dull colours and boring, don't ever feel bad about inking this up, or inking if you want to match the ink, the card, to your, you might be stamping on here or stenciling onto your onto your paper. You can just go straight to paper with your ink pad and colour it in, just so that it matches. It saves you having to buy the cardstock. This is just a scrap I got laying around. But yeah, feel free to colour up that cardstock. Carrie was doing a live for Lou at 6 a.m. Oh my God. So Carrie's having a nap right now. Oh dear. I'd be having a nap too if I was up at 6. I couldn't do a live. I mean, I look bad enough doing a live at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you do not want to see me at 6 a.m. That's bad. No, but today we went out and did an inspection of our new house build with our builder for the first time. And finally, we feel like we're getting somewhere. So yeah, that is good. What were they doing today? Today they were roughing in. They've done all the brickwork, so the house is close to lock-up stage. They've still got to put the eaves on and do the acid washing of all of the bricks. They started it, but they only got like 4 hours done on Friday afternoon. The plumbers were there today, so they were roughing in all of the plumbing. So all the pipes in the roof and in the walls and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's coming along. It's nice to see a little bit of progress. It's still going to take forever, but I'm impatient and I want it yesterday. We've been building for about 25 weeks now, and we've probably only had work being done half of those weeks. So it has felt very slow and tedious. It's like, just when you don't see anything happening, get really disheartened. Well, I do anyway. So what I love about this 6mm tape is that it fits perfectly on the back of these paper rose sentiments. So you've got just that tiny little bit around the outside edge, but the tape fits perfect. So I like that width. There is some thicker, like wider tape. I don't think it really matters too bad. Alrighty, so I'm just going to place my sentiments and then we'll pop this box together and move on to the little cards. Yeah, inking rough edges is the best. I'm not going to do it today because purple and green, certain shades of purple and green are great. Not so much. Okay, so now that I've got this decorated, the only other things that I did put on this last one was I put some of the sentiments down the side. They're completely optional. Do what you like. You might want to put a piece of ribbon down there or something else. I was going to try this ribbon today, but I think I've gotten a bit away from that, so I'll save that for another project. Okay, putting the box together. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over and grab this tiny little lip that's on this side, and I'm just going to run tape down that whole bit. I'm going to push it on nice and firmly because this is the weave side of that cardstock, so it can be a little bit. And what you'll find, I'm going to leave my the paper on for the moment, because what you'll find is when you fold this over, you should be able to just flatten that onto the tape. So you've got this little kind of side edge there, which will match this little side edge down here. So you should just be able to bend at that second fold there, flat down onto that, and give it a good press. So no kind of holding the box and trying to figure it out and get it to line up. It should just be a straight flat transfer as long as everything stays flat. So to that end, I am going to just burnish that one down just so that it stays a little bit flatter and doesn't pop up and get all awkward. Alrighty. Bam. Just like that. Okay, so now my box holds together this way. We need to fold this bit in and under. So I'm going to pop my 2 little tabs in here. I am going to just bend this little one out just while I tuck these little guys in. Now, if you're having trouble tucking it in, you can just take a couple of little corners off on these little bits. They don't need to be huge, just a tiny little wedge, and that should hopefully help that fit. Oh gosh, might need to take some off these little tabs as well. It's kind of blocking everything from going in. So I've just taken just 2 tiny little slivers off the top of those tabs, just to allow this to tuck in. It's still not going. There it goes. So tuck that in, and then I'm just going to run some tape along here and fold that flap down and make it nice and smooth. In fact, this end probably has room for 2 widths of this tape to go down, which will give us a nice firm hold. I'm going to take this paper off this piece first, just so that if I do have to stick this one over the top of it at all, I've got a bit of room to do that. Now, tons of room. Okay, peel that little guy off, hold it flat, give it a firm going over. Do my favourite, you know, it's kind of like when you lift up the tongs to go and use them for cooking and you have to click them once or twice to make sure they work. Just tap it down, make sure it's stuck. Excellent. So again, on the tops here, you might need to cut off a couple of little tabs just for this to be able to close neatly. Just tiny. And then just on these back. Doing it on camera or off camera, Tangy? Just where that's going to slot in. Ta-da! Tucked in, nice. So this one, for some reason, I don't know, it holds shut, but if you needed something to help hold that shut, I would suggest, wherever I put it before, a little bit of the washi tape, because it's not going to stick hard and fast to the paper and the cardstock, but you'll just need a little bit on the back edge there and fold it over onto the top, and that's your cute little gift box. So space to write on the back, and away you go. So let's get on to making some of these little things. Now, obviously, none of you are dummies. You know how this is going to go. So I've put some white cardstock on the inside, just because some of the darker colours like this orchid colour was getting a little bit dark to maybe write with a pen, but I mean, it's not too bad, but depends on what you would prefer. So I did cut some white cardstock in here, the same size as these mats, and then made those from there. So it's up to you. You might want to put the white inside, you might want to leave it just the coloured card, but let's whip a few of those up so that we can get finished. But look, once you've done this, it's a super quick and easy, really fast project to make. It's super quick and easy. So you could make a bunch of little mini cards, a couple of boxes for them, and you'd be done in no time. So I've got my little bits of white cardstock. So for the mini cards, so we've got the 3x6 inches for the small gift cards. So again, fold them, they become a 3x3 card. Nothing too crazy about that. So with your white cardstock, if you're going to do, so this is just for the borders. I'm going to do white ones for these ones just because I did black for the example one and I just want to see something a little bit different. So for these, you're going to cut them to 2.5 by 2.5 inches for the borders. Open my little guillotine. I so love this, and do you know what I love more? That noise. All about the chop. Damn. think I've gotten myself quite enough scrap card out today, but I'll get through this. So 4 of those you're going to need. Where have I gone? No, I did bring enough card. Haha. Three. Yes. So satisfying. And then we can choose some pattern papers, or if you like and you're looking at using your stenciling from last week, go for it. There's so many options. I've got a bit of this left over from that one that I did before. What else have I got? And I've got these, you know, I'm doing these pink and purpley kind of cards. So we're going to need to be cutting the pattern paper down to 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go with purples. Might go with a bit of fairy floss, so maybe some of this pinky kind of one, maybe. Let's see what I can get on these. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, she says. Seems so small. This little guard is so handy for being able to put, like, it's not like one of those tiny little strips where you're trying to hold it and it slips out from underneath. It's actually really, really good. Okay, so I've got a bit of that. Do another bit of this one. I'm just making them all different. I mean, if you were going through and making a really large batch of cards, then you could absolutely go and use the rest of this paper and make 1 or 2 extras and just keep going. And then you can just mix and match what you've got, you know, card-wise at the end into different packs. Plenty of options. A little bit of purple one there. A little bit of fairy bread. I love parties just because of fairy bread. I have a friend who's turning 40 next weekend. Maybe I'll make her some fairy bread. I hope she's not watching today. Sometimes she pops in. Hello, Kate, if you're watching. Fairy bread coming next weekend. Awesome. So I've got my 4 pieces there, and I've got a whole lot of mess down here. So I'm just going to move that away. So much more. Bye-bye, guillotine. Your work is done here today for the time being. So again, this is just a little bit of assembly. If you want to rough up your edges, by all means, go for it. Because we've got sort of pinks and purples in these cards that I'm doing, I'm just going to ink my edges, 2 purple and 2 pink. Nothing too heavy. Literally just doing the proper edges. It is quite a dark purple, this wild lilac. So it's a bit of a heavy colour. You think Kate's already celebrating? She probably is. Kate's always celebrating. She's a very happy, outwardly happy person. Very positive. Gone through a lot in life and still keeps smiling. That's what I love about her. Always looking for the positive. The only thing positive about me is my blood type. Literally. So this one I'm just doing pink. Again, this is quite a dark pink when you edge it. So, whoops, oh, yeah, we'll turn that one over. Whoopsies. And this is what we always say. There's always 2 sides of a piece of cardstock for a reason. Because when I stuff up, I can flip it over and start again. Pink. Last one. Just a nice little thin coloured edge just to make things stand out against the rest of the card. Oh, Vanessa, if I'm entertaining, stick around, my friend. There's more where this came from. All right, so I'm just going to match up purple with purple, pink with pink, purple-ish with purple. Good. Multicolored with pink. Happy days. Why do I keep... Here it is, it's under here. I keep hiding my tape. Does anybody else have this problem? I just put it down. It was here a second ago. I lost my Stanley knife for, I don't know, a good 4 days this week, and I was trying to open all these boxes of deliveries that had arrived with the shittiest pair of scissors, like clearly ones that I would never do crafting with because they're all gummed up and yuck. So I was opening boxes with those, and I said to my boyfriend, I was like, have you seen my Stanley knife, my green Stanley knife? It comes out for everything. And he goes, yeah, it's over here. I put it on the coffee table in the lunch room amongst our collection of face masks. I don't know what I was trying to get with that, but yeah, probably not the right spot to store something like that. Is anybody else in Australia still wearing face masks when they go out to the shopping centres, or is it just Victoria? Like, truth be told, I still pop mine on when I go into, you know, like go in to fill up with petrol before, and I still pop my mask on, run in. I do it when I go to the post office, even though all the people in the shops aren't wearing masks anymore. It's kind of, I think if you go into like a Big W or somewhere like that, they're all kind of still wearing masks in those bigger places, but I think all the little ones are not really sticking to it anymore. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, I haven't been vaccinated yet. I'm well down the list of people that will get it in due course. So, you know, it doesn't hurt me to wear a mask for a little bit longer. I know I'm not spreading my germs, so that helps me sleep at night. Yeah, so Adelaide's not wearing masks at all. Like, not even in, I mean, I know you don't go to the shops a lot, Mum, but not in Wollongong. Okay. Didn't Wollongong have a big outbreak not that long ago? Or am I geographying wrong? I probably am. Not in the gong. Just going to check in on my Facebook buddies, make sure you're okay over there. Hello, Sue. Sue Ratcliffe is in the house. Looking forward to having a go at making these when I get home. Where are you at the moment, Sue? Out and about and still checking in on Facebook. Good. Brownie points. Welcome. It's nice to see our little family growing every month. Getting a few extras here and there. It's nice. I don't want this to grow too quick, too big. I'd love it to be a great big crafting family, but also at the moment in the studio that I'm working out of, there's not a lot of room to be prepping too many boxes at once. So yeah, just a few extras each month at a time is nice growth. Very nice. All right. So I'm already really liking the fact that I edged these with a little bit of color. It just gives it a little bit of something else, particularly when it's just a straight edge. Can't see if I'm on. Yeah, only a few people in your little small Queensland town, Vanessa, wearing masks. Oh, you had 2 people, Tony. Is that all? Maybe I'm thinking about somewhere else. I've just put that on the wrong side. This is what happens when you read comments instead of concentrating on your crafting. This is why none of you talk very much when you're actually doing your crafting, because you're too busy not making mistakes. Very good. There we go. fix that little problem. Ta-da! Getting super excited for the things that are coming in for the May box. So some of the bits and pieces have already started arriving. I've got the beautiful apple mint coloured ink pads are here already. And like, honestly, I just want to get started playing with them, but I've got to get through the purple pastel month first. Then we'll get into that. Awesome. So grab my, oh, I've managed to get one with a, oops, daisy. That's all right. I'll put a cover in under that just to take that off there. So what I might do, it's all good. I'll figure it out. I'll put some kind of sentiment or something over it. Would be nice. Let's fold all of these up. Put my pink with my pink. Get out of the way. And what's really interesting about this Gina K ink is that when you first ink it, it does look really dark, and when it dries, it actually lightens up quite a lot. You can see the difference between, you might be able to see the difference between how dark this looks because I've just done it and how light it actually ends up. So don't panic when you kind of start blending or start inking. With the Gina K inks, they do, once they dry, they smooth out quite a lot and they do lighten up. Oh, you've got a mask in your car, but you haven't used one in a long time. Lucky you. They are a bit of a pain to wear, but I've kind of gotten used to it now, and I feel like I'm that person that looks at everyone else that's not wearing one and gives them those sort of side eyes. To say you probably should still be wearing one in Victoria, like unless you've had a vaccine, which isn't very many people at the moment. But also I think people are just sick of wearing it. So spare a thought for our health workers who quite often have to wear them all the time, regardless of COVID. And tradies, you know, people that, I don't know, spray paint cars for a living probably have to wear a mask all the time. You don't see them complaining much. I'm sure they do complain, but it's for your own good. What did Michael Jordan say? Just do it. Nike. All right. So much taping today. I wish I'd done tape runner because it actually would have been way quicker. Tony, you've got a mask in the car. Yeah, it just pays to have one handy. It's mine hangs off my little window mount that I've got for my my GPS. It just hangs there, does its thing. Does its thing. These would kind of make great little cards for, you know, the little cards that you get at the florist, and they're always quite daggy and ordinary. Or you can never find one that's quite right. You go, oh, I really love that picture, but I wish it said this instead of that. These would be really cute to just attach to a little box or a bouquet of flowers. Just that right size to write something small and nice. Go from there. Yeah. I don't go to the shops much either. Online shopping has been the best thing ever to come out of COVID. Most of the things I want to buy, I know what they're going to be before I get them. I know what I'm buying, so I don't have to go and look at it. I mean, if I'm buying furniture or something, I'm not going to buy that online. I'm going to go and sit on it and, you know, that kind of stuff. But, oh, Tony, you have to wear them every day at work? Yeah. I'm sure you get used to it. I'm sure it's not fun, but I'm sure it's just, that's part of the job now. Part of the job. There's my little Facebookies. All right, guys, we've hit the hour mark. I'll hurry up. I mean, it's Saturday, Arvo. People don't really have other places to go, do you? What is everybody doing for Saturday? We're going to the Speedway tonight. Going to watch the sprint cars with my brother and his crazy bunch of feral kids. They're not that feral. They're just, you know, aged between 8 and 12, and with 3 of them, it's a handful, particularly for someone who doesn't have kids yet. I think I might put that one horizontal stripes. Horizontal's good. Mum, it's horizontal stripes, but it's not a t-shirt, so I'm allowed to do it, yeah? I went through a massive phase when I was a teenager. Every shirt I bought had horizontal stripes on it. Every shirt had stripes on it. Didn't matter which way they went. It was just all stripy shirts. Mum banned me from buying anymore. I've kind of still got a thing to this day. I think I've only bought one shirt that has stripes on it in probably the last 10 years, I think. And that's my shirt that looks like Bird or Ernie. I can't remember which one it is, but it's a blue shirt with like red and yellow stripes on it. So the ban has finished, but I still am mentally scarred by the fact that I'm not allowed to buy any more stripy shirts. Oh dear, that's life. So let's have a look at some little sentiments to go on these. So I think a little bit of a, these are great to do a little like combo pack, particularly if you're giving them as a gift. It's like a good selection of little sayings and greetings and things, so you can kind of fit one for almost every occasion in here. Oh, do you know what I could use here? Oh, I wonder if it'll work. So these came in during the week. Ugh, where are they? Okay. Oh no, they're in. No, they're the big ones. They're in a box. I can't use them. We got the smaller ones of my corner rounder that's got the inverted side on it as well. Ugh. So this little guy. So if you pop it in this way, you're going to get your rounded corners, and if you pop it in the back side, you're going to get the little inverted chunk. But this is a 10 mil round, so it's actually going to be way too big for these little ones, but we've got 5 mil ones that have just come in as well. I haven't unpacked any out of their actual plastic packaging yet, so I'm going to leave them alone for now and just fussy cut these for the end of the project. So pop that there. What else have I got? I had do what, ooh, be who you are and do what you do. Kind of like that. Just cutting off camera because I've got a pile of rubbish over there and I just feel like I have to cut over there in the pile. Should I put that on there? Oh, maybe on there. What else have we got? Might need a... I like it is what it is. That's kind of been my my week at work on the call centre. It's like it is what it is. If there's calls banking up, so be it. It's a very busy time for enrolments for people who are doing higher education at the moment, because of course they don't just start at the start of the year. They've also got April and July intakes coming up, so lots of people who missed out at the start of the year that are still trying to get their life on track and get into a course. So they're still ringing and applying. Oh, there goes my brother's dog barking his head off. It's normally him barking at delivery people that come to the door and bang really hard on the door. But we probably won't have him after tonight. I think he's going home to his family tonight with my brother. So we'll be dogless again. You're thinking about the stripes, Tony. Stripes are good. Stripes are very good. Chonk. All right, nearly done. I'll put that in there. Green on pink is a bit of an odd combo, but I don't mind it, particularly because it's got a bit of green in that fairy bread paper. All right, time to put some of this off my desk, I think. Here we go. Thought I'd lost my tape again, but I found it. All right, so, these are pretty good. Now, I wouldn't suggest popping these up on your smaller inner cards, only because if you're going to do that, you're going to need to change the gusset height of your box, because they're not going to fit in with the extra height in there. So if you're wondering why I'm not kind of making more out of these in terms of embellishments or popping it up and giving more dimension, that is the reason why today. It's just a little bit much. I'd have to change the box too much. Yes, send those puppy. I'm going to steal them when I come over to Adelaide, Mum. I'm going to steal those puppy dogs of yours. I'm going to bring them back for a holiday. They can come and stay at my house. And then you can come and pick them up when we move into the new house and you come and unpack boxes with us. No? I know what the answer is going to be to that, guys. There's going to be a rude word said. So I'm just going to burnish these little cards a little bit flatter so they don't pop up all over the place. Got a few of them going on. Nearly there, nearly there. This has to be one of my longest lives, and it didn't seem like that much of a complicated project to do. I think I've just waffled. Do you know what it is? It's this tape. It's the peeling the tape takes forever. So I might be a little bit more conscious of that in future for you guys, because you know how tape works. It's no surprise, no special deal. Thanks, but no thanks. As in, I can have the dogs, but you're not coming to help pack or unpack. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I think my mum has moved me about 10 times since I left home. She's always helping me move. This time we're moving with a removalist, so we're doing that one big last move, so we just got to pack everything up and then just point at the other end. So that will be divine. I can't wait. Alrighty, so finally I've gotten to the end. So I've got the little gift box that we've made so that we can fit the lovely 4 little gift cards inside. Now, if you wanted to make more and fit them in, if you can, good for you, go on. I just kind of like to be able to get your fingers in and get to them, or at least have them not get wedged in there. Look, to be fair, you could probably fit 6 in there. I've only done 4 today, and it will just be about whether or not you've got extra cardstock from our kit left to make some extra ones. Certainly there's plenty of sentiments left to make plenty more boxes and cards, but for the moment I've just done 4. Look, we've already gone an hour and 15, so it'll probably take another 15 minutes to whip up a couple more. But that's my lovely little project for today. So I'll jump it back on here. Pop up my nice sweaty face for you because it's pretty hot in here today. Again, no insulation in these roofs or windows, so it's but yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope your cards all go well and that you're having an easy time of making the box. Just using the little pattern. By all means, save the pattern, use it for future projects and things like that. Yeah, I hope you've had a great time. Please post some photos of your finished work onto our Facebook page. We love seeing how you interpret the project, and of course everyone's always turns out different from everybody else, which is such a great thing. So yeah, share that away. We will be back again next Saturday at 2 o'clock. I think it's still daylight savings time by then, but it'll be 2 o'clock Melbourne time, whatever time zone we happen to be in by then. What are we doing next week? Let me double check. What have we got? Oh, we're doing washi tape cards next week. So this is a little bit of a sneak peek of the. It's not finished yet, but this is a sneak peek. Oops, go this way, Tangi, and I've got to hold it right in the light. So this is using the rainbow swatches and the paper and the tape. So we're going to make a little bit of that. There's a little bit of scoring going on, making some bits and pieces, and there's some letters still to come on that one. So come back and join us next week, and we hope you have a great weekend and a lovely week in between. If you need anything at all, hit me up on the email at info@papercraftingaustralia.com. But yeah, enjoy your weekends, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.